Here's your story, blending quirky character and human drama in a grounded, realistic style for an American audience. The Preacher's Last Ride. It was a muggy night in New Orleans, the air thick with humidity and the faint tang of bourbon drifting off the French Quarter. I was parked near Jackson Square, watching the last of the street performers pack up, when he climbed in, 60s, white suit wrinkled at the edges, a worn Bible tucked under his arm. He looked like he'd stepped out of a tent revival, silver hair slicked back, eyes bright with something I couldn't place. "Take me to Slidell," he said, voice booming like he was addressing a congregation, not just me in my beat-up cab. I nodded, flipped the meter, and pulled onto I-10, the city lights fading into the rearview. He didn't waste time, launched right into it. "Son, have you considered the wages of sin?" he thundered, slapping the Bible against his knee. "The devil's out there, prowling like a lion, but redemption's just a prayer away." I smirked, half amused, nodding along as he preached, fire and brimstone, lost sheep, the whole playbook. It was 20 miles to Slidell, and he filled every one with sermon, his voice bouncing off the windows like a Sunday service on wheels. I've had talkers before, but this guy was a force, part preacher, part showman, gesturing wild as we crossed the Lake Pontchartrain Causeway. "The Lord's been good to me," he boomed, "but folks'll test your soul." I muttered a "yep" here and there, keeping my eyes on the road, figuring he'd run out of steam. Then, halfway across the water, he stopped cold. Silence hit like a brick. I glanced back, he was staring out at the black lake, face slack, Bible limp in his lap. "You okay, Reverend?" I asked, breaking the quiet. He sighed, long and heavy. "I'm running away tonight," he said, voice dropping to a murmur. "Church fired me this morning. Caught me with the organist, back room, after choir practice. 30 years preaching, gone in a blink." My jaw loosened, but before I could respond, he reached into his jacket, pulled out a dented silver flask, and took a deep swig. The sharp whiff of whiskey cut through the cab. He wiped his mouth with the back of his hand, then held it out to me. "To new beginnings," he said, a faint grin cracking his face. I waved it off, driving, man, but he just shrugged and took another pull. Then he started singing, a slurred, off-key hymn, Amazing Grace, mashed up with a drawl and a hiccup. It wasn't pretty, but it had heart, echoing over the hum of the tires. We hit Slidell 15 minutes later, pulling up to a rundown motel off the highway, neon vacancy sign buzzing in the dark. He fumbled in his pockets, handed me a wad of crumpled ones, $1.25, just over the fare, and climbed out, unsteady but smiling. "Keep the faith, son," he said, then paused, glancing at the Bible still on the seat. "Nah, you keep that too. I'm done with it." He tipped an imaginary hat and shuffled toward the motel, humming that hymn, till the door clicked shut behind him. I sat there, engine idling, flipping through the Bible, pages dog-eared, notes scribbled in the margins. Guy'd lived a whole life in there, and now it was mine for the keeping. I stashed it in the glove box, next to a pack of gum and some old receipts. Every time I pass that causeway, I think of him, preacher turned fugitive, toasting his own downfall with a flask and a song. Wonder if he found his new beginning, or just another back room to hide in. Every journey comes to an end, but the stories never stop. If you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe and join us on new journeys. There are many more incredible stories of life behind the wheel to come.